This land is your land, and this land is my land, from the California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
Congrats, I got your coffee mug secured. I know. Where are the license plates?
This speech is Capitol ground still open.
We can't buy it today.
Well, so there is.
I represent the Gillette Company. I'd like to talk to you about some razors. How are you? Don't grab the tripod, please. So proud of you.
Thanks for following.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Nice.
Sweet.
Thank you.
That's it.
How'd I get in there?
Cheddar cheese.
Yeah.
Paparazzi.
Yeah. Paparazzi.
So how long does the beard last for?
Sarah!
3 days.
I started to run about 33 years ago. I read a story about her running the Fun Run, and well, you were a little older than me at the time. And I said, if she can do it, that's what I'm going to do. So I went to the Fun Run, ran the 2 mile as fast as I could, and it's true. I threw up after.
There's your inspiration.
I came back the next week and made the same mistake and threw up again. And I noticed there were people that weren't doing that. So I got a book, read about a little how to do it, talked to Bob Murphy, the long-time president, measure of courses, race courses, and he influenced me to try a marathon. And I stand here today something like 325 marathons later. So you come. I want to go to So they were the biggest influence in
How was DC?
what started me. I don't know what's going to stop me.
I think we created a monster.
Well, one thing I learned, in case you're interested, since it was about fitness, when I started the race, like any man that gets older, I started to grow in places I didn't want to. And at the start, I looked more like I was in my first trimester. And I actually lost about 14 pounds, and it stayed there. And I never felt weak or bad. My legs always were in shape. I got weary from the tedious get up and go day after day. And people want to know, what was the hardest thing? It was the total organization to do it. Put the tent up, put the tent down. Where did I put my flashlight? Once they set us on the road and said go, the running was almost the easiest part. It was staying organized to keep going. Relentless forward progress. And I tell you, it's fantastic to see the country on foot. It's the happiness walk. It's
Of course, you'll be joining us this fall on the Happiness Walk, right?
Well, we'll see.
Maybe a few miles, right? Maybe a few miles.
I make no promise.
It's slower.
It's slower.
The walk is slower.
It doesn't change much. You've got a lot to deal with. And the other biggest thing, the road is full of surprises. It was astounding to have a day seem boring, and it was like a lightning strike. And I think if you saw Facebook, one of the biggest was a lady pulls up in front of me in Columbia, Mississippi, jumps out of the car and says, "Newton Baker, is that you?" And at that point, being the way I am, I consider the question. It meant that it was me. Well, I try to buy some time. Who are you? It was a girl who went through the Montpelier school system and a basketball player, a former student, and what is her name?
Lindsay.
Lorenovich.
The Lorenovich girl. And she was taking a route she does not usually take. To take her child to an appointment. And she said, "I had this vague idea you were out there. I didn't know when, I didn't know where, but something struck me." She stopped her car and looked on Facebook. And 40 minutes earlier, I had found a Mississippi license plate. And I like to tease my teammates. They couldn't find him, and I could. So I would take a picture and post it. When I'd finished, they'd say, "How'd you do that?" She sees the license plate in my hand, says Mississippi, and said, "That's got to be him. I'll drive back," and all they can think is either I'm a crazy old lady or it's really you. So that was amazing. And in the last run, another woman runs out on the course. There were a few men in my life. She's waving her arms and saying Newton, and I know her. But at that point, I can't think who she is either. So I pretend I do. And she says, well, I'm Dan's wife. I said, oh yeah! I thought, it's not Dan, Dan is right there. What other Dan do I know? And after she said goodbye, it came to me. And it was the wife of the son of Diane's sister.
Wow.
Yeah. And the third surprise is a man steps out at mile 24, and I'm going uphill, hot day in the sun, and he said, hi, I'm Jeff Prescott's father. And I think, well, good. I'm thinking, who's Jeff Prescott? And he says, I'll see you at the finish. I got a present from Jeff. And he bought me a box of goo, and which I desperately needed another one. And they cost quite a... So this guy followed Jeff's orders, bought the box of goo, drove 2 hours through, I think we were in North Carolina, and presented it to me. And I'm still trying to think who's Jeff Prescott. So I said, Jeff, got any running plans? Thinking if he did, and then it came to me because I always just called him Jeff. It's the very good running friend, long time, very funny, ex-president of the Central Vermont Running Club. It's just my mind couldn't focus outside of the course. And for Jeff Prescott, I wore the Central Vermont singlet every single stage because he was constantly ragging on me. Could somebody buy him a singlet so he'll stop wearing the GMA? But that's all I can think of for the moment.
Great story. Do you guys want to do a receiving?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Line up.
We'll pretend he's...
The voice coming chanting, and the fog was lifting. This land was made for you and me.